Yeah, this says participants one, that's probably us.
Yeah, nobody asked me. to
Thank you.
explain,
Okay.
So,
Let's get the show on the road. I'm on the clock.
Is it not
You want
possible
the
to use
clock?
the same Zoom link every time?
You want the clock?
For consistency? All right, let's call meeting in order. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You know, I thought I was back before. I gotta hang on to the.
Appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Call order.
I'm gonna borrow this.
Mr. Sheriff, Jack Rosa, what can we do for you today?
We've had a discrepancy in our books of $244.
Yeah, good.
I'll
do that.
And we've had this ever since I took over as sheriff, and we just want to get permission to pay them.
Right there, it is. Gonna get you to hold for just 1 second.
Go ahead, I'll just mute it.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
We just want to take that money out of commissary and put it so we can balance our books.
Okay,
That's it.
so you're just looking.
$244, just permission to take it from commissary.
Yeah.
To that, you know.
We got that in our email. I'll make a motion that we allow the sheriff to take the 254 and change from commissary to resolve his discrepancy in banking.
That's all I have.
I got a motion by Dave. Do I have a second?
What was the amount, Dave? I'm sorry.
It's 254 and
240.
244.57, so I'm dyslexic.
I'll second. It's.
Second by Bruce, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, passes.
I got one more thing. We've got that van out here. If you guys would like to take a look at it, it's the one that was really.
It's odd, it's nice.
Okay.
You look at it. So if you guys want to take a look at it, it's out there.
Sure.
It's
Good.
it'll last us 15, 20 years.
Good deal. That is good news to the
Yeah,
council.
well, and
Yeah,
it should, I don't see anything could happen.
it's different than what I expected, I must admit. I was thinking another van and it was a lot of money for another van. It's nothing like a regular van. It reminds me of what's
Oh,
on
yeah, it's got seating for.
Vegas cops when they do
Right.
that.
Anyway,
That's it.
it's got one specific area. If we got somebody that's unruly and there's no room for them to, just get them in there and they can't do anything. And then we'll be able to take males and females to court at the same time and just put one on one side and one on the other. And then we also have offenders that can't be with each other.
Right.
So we'll be able to do that
So
too.
you actually literally be able to separate them for safe transport.
It's got a divider down the middle and then a bench seat on both sides.
That's good.
It's very good.
Good, thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, next up,
Me,
April, deputy coroner's pay.
so I was ready. You guys know why I'm here. Thank you
We're
for
finally gonna.
seeing me again. We're gonna fix this.
Confusion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I screwed up. I don't know how. I gave myself a raise back when I did the initial budget worksheet. Absolutely, I have tried every number to find out how I did it. Don't know how I did it. I should have been making $14,704 this year. I gave myself a raise of $16,418. We figured it out after the second payroll period. I went up, Suzanne had her deduct the 100, it works out to be $65.92 every 2 weeks. I had her deduct that from my third payroll so that I am straight and back to the 14,700. That was approved through everybody. I'm not asking you guys for a raise, but I need to know what to do with that money if I just don't spend it. It's $1,714 difference between what I should be making and what I decided I was gonna make this year. So I don't know what exactly to do with that. I don't know if I can reallot that to my deputy line. I mean, it's a transfer area. I don't know.
They're the same,
So,
the same.
funds, aren't they? Same line.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, until we increase your amount for that, I mean, I think the council would still want to know if you were to kind of increase that more than what was budgeted, just to be responsible.
Right.
It makes sense to look at that for that.
The same series, so that's one of those I can totally transfer.
We
Yeah,
budgeted a certain
Yeah.
amount for you for overtime or.
right, for
For
deputies.
deputy,
Right.
and if you're gonna increase that regardless of where it comes from, I think the
Yeah.
council should still be aware of that, just to be fiscally
Yeah.
responsible.
Like we went up, you know, the 3% with the deputies, which is the second part of this. However, that got screwed up. I don't know, but that was not my fault. This one was my fault. But we didn't use all 15,000 last year. We're having hi Howard. We're having a very busy this year. So, you know, year so far this year. So I don't know. I never know how that's gonna go, but I just kind of wanted some guidance on that difference. So that's part one. Part two is the deputies' pay got cut when it shouldn't have got cut. That's not on any of you guys. They should be making 111 this year with the 3% raise from last year. It got fixed. Somehow it got changed again on the paperwork. You guys approved 111, everybody approved 111. But then when you got the updated salary ordinance last meeting, it got cut to 108 and it shouldn't. So it should be 111 with some raise that everybody had gotten. So
Yeah.
It says 111 now.
it does say that now. Yes.
Okay.
Thank
I just
you.
wanted to know.
So we just want to make sure that that's still good to go because I was told it needed to be approved.
So now that Howard,
So-
we do have
Yeah,
what we need to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, we fixed it.
Yeah.
It's 111
thank you.
now. Far as the other meeting, I think probably, what we'd want you to do on that is just, you know, come in, do a transfer, let us know
Okay,
how it's gonna be handled before you use it.
okay.
What do you guys?
So I just didn't know if it was like I could transfer it, if I should just plan on not using it. I mean, it was approved all over. I don't want to, I mean, we're happy to use it. but-
Right,
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
right now, we'll save it for a rainy day and,
Turn
You
it
know.
back into county general at the end of the year.
Yeah,
yeah, if you need, to come and ask us for it.
Okay.
and We'll go from there.
okay.
Right.
So we're straight. I did pay back what I had, so I'm straight for the rest of the year, but. And the girls are at 111, so I appreciate your time.
All
Did
right.
we get a motion in a second on it?
No,
No, fixing the salary ordinance? We didn't
Not
do
yet.
that.
not yet. We haven't done.
Before
that
you
yet.
go, we should do that, right?
I don't. I
Up to you
mean,
guys. Whenever you want to do it, it's on the agenda.
are we sure it's right?
I mean, it's on the agenda next is the only reason why I asked, right?
It's on the, down towards the bottom.
Oh, the bottom, but since she's here now.
Okay, go ahead, Doc.
Could we do that?
Yeah, why we're doing this, guys, we didn't have a super majority last time. So the vote does not stand on the salary ordinance. We didn't realize we had to have a super majority. So, we need to re-vote on that.
Yeah.
We need to re-vote on that tonight. So now that Howard's here, I believe we can do that.
As long as all five vote in favor tonight, otherwise it's just a second reading.
Okay. As long as all five of us are in agreement, we can pass it.
You know, the confidence level of the auditor that it should be right now.
Yeah, well, the thing is it was Suzanne's and my first time.
Yeah.
Doing this.
Okay. And
To Todd's
We're
point,
good.
that it
Yeah.
would be right.
Yeah.
Suzanne and I have both gone through it numerous times and it's hopefully corrected.
okay, well, we believe we have it correct. While we're on this topic, I'll ask for a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I got a motion by Dave. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I got a second by Howard. All in favor? And since we have to have five, could we do it one at a time so we're clear for the vote?
I made the motion, so it'll be an aye.
Dave is yes.
Yes.
Howard is yes. Todd
Yes.
is yes. Bruce?
I'm not sure. Oh, okay, yes.
That would be a yes. So we have a pass this time.
You didn't say anything.
Oh,
Are
Carrie.
you good? Am I done? You
You are-
need me for
you are
anything else?
done.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you guys very much.
That's a very important.
Thanks.
Just.
No, they're not, they're coming back April 7th or April 6th. No, say.
Oh.
Seventh, right?
Just for the record, the State Board of Accounts audit at the Sheriff's Department went very well. We don't have any comments for our closing
Good,
anything,
good.
so.
Good news.
Hey, don't forget I was a yes vote.
For that,
Okay, just remember.
just remember where that money is, don't come all on one.
No, they're not gonna be.
That's not till April.
They were on the agenda tonight and they can't
This
make
is a
it.
pretty rough crowd over there.
Nobody, don't have nobody here from.
One got called out to NIPSCO and one of them's sick to the stomach.
Since it's on the agenda though, can we just talk about it for a second? Are we talking about being a backup funding source for the carnival again, or what's in the carnival? Pretty happy with the revenue life? Does anybody know what it's about?
I don't.
Okay, so do I
They
feel
didn't
bad,
say,
'cause
they just
usually
said
I
it was about the
communicate with
carnival.
you.
They didn't say what they wanted, just that it was about the carnival.
I think we'll just wait till we have a representative from there and we were clear on what the ask is and.
Okay,
Okay, next is Michael Lean.
yes, on your meeting in May is, our auditors conference. And so we were wondering if you would want to hold the meeting the Friday before or the Friday after, or the Monday after, because in order to get there before it's too late, everybody would have to leave before then. And so we were hoping you could move the date of your May meeting to either the Friday before or the next Monday. Because we'll be gone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Why are you looking at me like that?
I just can't believe the state didn't know that was gonna affect our meeting the way it does.
I know.
What's the best, Michaeline, what's the best for you?
It doesn't matter to me. Either one. The thing is nowadays these meetings are mandatory. When I was here before, they weren't mandatory. You could go or you didn't have to, but now you have to.
So you're saying either the 17th or the 27th?
So what's best for you guys?
I don't know.
Let's see, bingo's that night.
Bingo. Bingo.
There you go, thank you. It's gonna be in this room.
The states.
What the word works for me.
Is there anything coming up for the commissioners that one or the other day might impact something they're
Probably be
gonna ask
better
for us?
Friday after.
Probably better
Friday after, you think better?
That would make it the 24th.
I'll make a motion that we do it Friday after.
Okay, I got a motion by Bruce that we do it the Friday after. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second by Todd. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The only thing is, I'll say is I may have. April 24th, I'm working.
May.
Oh, I'm sorry, then that's not the right date then.
Oh, geez, maybe it is my bingo night.
So it would be. It would be our meeting's on the 18th, so it would be the 25th would be the Monday after. No, the week.
They said
Oh,
the Friday.
Friday.
We're gonna do
So-
it Friday, is that all right?
The Friday when you get back?
The Friday of basically, so
Yeah,
Friday after the Monday is what
Yeah.
I think you're trying.
Well,
to
yeah, I thought you meant the next week.
Will that work for
So
you?
that would be the 20,
And our regular time?
that would be the 22nd.
May 22nd.
Does somebody wanna?
That's the Friday.
That's what we're doing again. That's everybody go.
Yep, that is
What is it?
Memorial Day weekend.
It's Memorial Day, the Friday, that
Yeah, Monday's Memorial Day.
May 27th, 20. Oh, that's 20.
Wow.
25th is Memorial Day.
Yeah, man, I need a calendar.
You want to do the Tuesday after Memorial Day then?
No,
No.
Oh, 22nd's fine with me.
22nd's okay with me too.
May 22nd then at 4:30?
No.
Fine with me, that's Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be off at noon, we'll be there.
Could I, could I get you to amend your motion, Bruce, to the 22nd, May 22nd?
Isn't that what I
No.
talked
Said the
about?
Friday after. he
Oh, you
didn't
just
say
said
date.
Friday after.
Yeah, he
okay.
just said the Friday after.
Never mind, my bad. So,
Okay.
it'll be 22nd. So,
Yeah.
all those in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, okay. So. Next, Kelly.
Huh? I do land it. I worked there.
Hey. Where were you?
I'm over the doctor.
So Howard. You got a call from Mike.
So I'm just here for the
Yes.
update for the reconciling. I did discuss with the commissioners this morning to ask a few people to come in. Casey has agreed to come in with Rhonda. I also have one other person that I need to interview, but for part-time.
Yep.
And they can come in and help enter things too. We made it to November of 23. We started seeing things missing from the ledgers. And we had to start going through day by day to make sure everything was put in onto the ledger. So when we go to reconcile, it's there. That was slowing Rhonda down. So we are going day by day during the day, making sure things are on the ledger. So when she gets to it, it's there.
Okay.
She has made it to March of 2024. She has started March. SBO did suggest a laptop to go home, but the commissioners have denied it. Like I said, we're doing the daily thing. Casey's agreed to come in. The three of us are going to have a meeting this week, myself, Rhonda, and Casey. Like I said, I have one more potential hire. And I'm inviting any of you who would like to come in while we're all there to join us to see a rundown of what needs to be done to reconcile one day. And we have to go one day at a time because that is what Lao is requiring us to do. So
We wanted to come in and get familiarized, how much time should we set aside to do that, and at what time of the day?
just so we can run it through for you, probably about 45 minutes. And then it would be when Rhonda comes here, which is after hours, so about 4, she usually gets here between 4:30 and 4:45 normally. Some days she gets here at 4. It just depends on what time she leaves work. Sometimes she doesn't take a lunch and she just takes her lunch on the way down
Would
here.
you let me know when it would be best?
Absolutely.
I would like to,
Yep, I can sure do that.
like to do
If,
that.
Real quickly,
Yeah.
Kelly,
Mhm.
you're approaching your busiest time of the year.
Exactly.
How bad's that gonna touch you back?
Daily wise, if I can get that if I find that extra part-time person, hopefully I can have them answering phones,
Right.
doing mail. I mean, it does take a little bit of time to make sure the payments get put in right. Like I want to make sure that's done right. And then I can keep going daily. Well, one of us can keep going daily in the office. And then while the rest of us are taking payments.
I just wanna,
It's gonna get busy and it's gonna get busy fast.
cause you're gonna have people coming in here in the next few weeks,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so you're prepared for that. I
Last
think.
time, it was
Thank you for that.
You're very welcome. Last time it was 3 days after the bills got mailed that we had people in the office paying.
That's
How
cool.
long do you anticipate before that you may
I'm
have
hoping
another person online?
this week, hopefully Casey will help. If not, definitely starting next week.
Caffeine,
Because we want to have that conversation, the three of us, just to make sure things, you don't want too many people doing it because then things get messy.
Stop signs.
And people are moving ahead and other people are behind and
It's
you don't want
election.
people off. So
Yeah.
I think since Casey helped before, I think she'll be a great asset to help now.
Well, theoretically, you're not gonna have them both at the same time, right? Like one will be one day,
No,
Or-
theoretically, Casey will be there entering daily stuff and balancing the day and then to catch up. And then Rhonda will be there reconcile at the same time.
Good.
Because we are farther ahead than Rhonda is reconciling right now.
how much do we pay Lau a year? Is it like 70?
100 something, but it's not just my office that uses it.
Okay, but I mean, so out of that. I mean, I think we need to list, like, at some point when we renegotiate our contract with Lau. I believe that a portion of that is for support.
They do.
I feel like they haven't given us much support. It's my opinion. I'm one of 7.
Okay.
But I think that's one thing that needs to be brought up to them when we do the contract the next time. Because I feel like the companies, usually when you have their software, they're usually able to help you out a lot with that kind of a scenario.
So I did ask Kyle from Wow, he's on the financial side.
Yeah.
I did ask him about helping. He said they can help, they cannot do it.
So how much have they helped so far?
So every time one of us have a question, we get stuck, they help. They email us back. We put in a ticket. So we ticket them. They did come here for a whole day when we first started this. Rhonda was there, I was there. I mean, of course, it was a busy day, but we all got to sit down with them and watch them. And they are the ones who took us back to March of 23, where we were balanced with the bank.
Because they knew that was a date when everything was
Yes,
balanced.
yes, the last time it was
That was
balanced.
Bruce's question last time.
Yeah.
About going back to a previous date where you know things were jiving and then just going from there, regardless of any future mistakes. Theoretically, if you reconcile from that date,
That's what
it
we
should
did.
keep reconciling.
And it was March of 2023, the last time it was reconciled correctly.
But so I didn't understand it. How do you all of a sudden have, you said a discrepancy came up. How does that happen if you're reconciling from a good day and going by the amounts that are correct every day? How do you all of a sudden have
It was a future date that SBOA had a problem with.
okay, but you
It wasn't that day that we
haven't caught up to that date.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's what.
but my question was, it ought to be it ought to be easy to establish what day that conflict happened or that.
For a start date.
Yeah, they think, because
That's what they did. That was.
if I was $2 million off or whatever in my checkbook,
Yeah,
I would know. And I would go from, well, I got a bright.
one day. It might be a series of days that added up to that 2 million.
So when the day that you realized it is what I'm talking about, the day you realized you had a problem, you ought to be able to reconcile.
We are
forward.
going to figure it from there.
Okay.
We get to that
And
date.
you're past that date,
Yes,
right?
we are ahead.
But you haven't found the correct, the problem.
We did find a $1.3 million discrepancy. It was just put, so what happened, it was put into the wrong column. They came in the office, they asked me, I pulled up the date, because SBO was. I pulled up the date and I said, oh, look, it's in the wrong spot. That's all the problem was. So we flip-flopped it where it was supposed to be.
Who puts it in that column? Is that from the?
It would have been from before, yeah.
But who's the one that would have put it in the wrong column? Just like who?
So instead of putting it, it was on, so you have a left side and a right side of your cash sheet.
Right.
It was in the right spot on the right side. It was on the wrong side on the left side.
Kind of like how we got made fun of
I-
for signing
I
up.
got a question. So with the Rhonda, Casey, and possibly somebody
Another
else, okay, and I'm not holding you 100% to it. But could you give me a date you think that we could have this?
I think 2024 will be done in less than 6 weeks,
Less than 6 weeks.
2024.
1.4.
And that's what State Board of Accounts said to get done
Right,
ASAP.
okay. Once we get this caught up, because, you know, we want to see this done.
Right.
And so forth. Once this is caught up and we're back at an even kill, is this something your office will be able?
Absolutely. We'll do it daily.
On a daily
It
basis?
needs to be done daily. If it is done daily, it would not be such a problem.
Okay,
And it's easy to do it daily. I have combined both. We had 2 accounts when I first started.
mhm,
I have
Okay.
taken the one account and combined it with my other, so now we're only reconciling one from about March of 25 now.
so about 6 weeks from now, we can look at you completing
2024.
2024.
I think we will be there.
2025, your office was there, so it's already done, basically, right?
It's not done because you have to do it daily.
Okay,
Right, but I mean, you've been reconciling all.
You can't reconcile before the date. I think that's the whole confusion. Everyone thinks I can reconcile 25. If 24 is not done, if my checkbook is not balanced for 24, how am I supposed to go to 25 and balance it?
I think that's
You can't.
understandable.
Okay. I think we had some problems understanding that.
Your daily stuff,
Stuff's in.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's in.
yeah.
So as long as you are.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
long
yeah.
as you are matching on your daily stuff
Yes.
and there are no mistakes there, once you find that, it ought to be.
So as long as the ending of 24 matches the starting of 25, it ought to be pretty clean.
It should.
And how-
We gave it a
should,
word.
and we should pick up pace at that point.
Yes.
right?
And
That's
how
what we did.
they're-
Okay,
March of 23.
take a question from the floor. Gwen had her hand up.
Kelly, how much does Casey get paid then?
She'll get paid part-time pay.
She will.
Yes,
Okay.
we've already discussed this.
Alright.
Sorry.
It's okay, and I know my part-time pay.
Yep.
Is what we're taking this out. I may have to come back and ask for a little more to. My fall part-time help.
If you have to, please come back and see us. This is very important to the commissioners and the council that we get this concluded.
I'm trying not to have to do that. I don't wanna have to come back and ask for more part-time budget.
All right. Good deal.
Does that answer everything?
Anybody got any?
So when you find it, when you get to that day where you,
So,
I guess it could be multiple, but when you,
Right.
like, say, when you find the last error, does it correct forward to the software? Like,
So-
on your daily work now, would it correct all the way then, once it's resolved and then the books? Or do you have to reconcile
every
everything
single day,
from your term too?
my term from before and
Okay.
my term and you have to go every single day by day. Reconciling, balancing,
That software carry that forward once you find a mistake.
well, I mean, it will
Or
correct it that
mistakes.
day. And then the next day you should be okay. Until you find another mistake, then you
Right,
correct
I'm
it that
saying,
day and
once you
you,
find the last mistake,
which
as
was,
long as there's no mistakes in 25, it would correct through then, is what I'm saying, right?
You just go every day and balance, and then you have to go every day and reconcile. You still have to reconcile.
Right.
It has to be done.
Theoretically,
Got a year
it should
and-
jive then, once you catch
It
it.
should catch up, yes.
Like, it could be like July of 2024, all of a sudden, then boom, then you could just. Like if you find the last mistake and it happens to be July of 2024.
Well, yeah, and then she also has to, Rhonda has gone back and done, return checks. We've had a problem with this, so. Say they paid on May 9th. The check gets returned on May 12th. You are supposed to go in the system, back the check out, back the payment out. Return the check to the customer and tell the customer, hey, now you have a fee, you have to return the check. Now, I've done this and I've seen it done before, called the customer and said, hey, your check bounced, can we run it back through the bank again? So then you're reconciling and that day gets messed up. Because technically the money didn't go until, 7 days later when you re-ran the check, but it's still on this sheet. So you have to compare it.
So is theoretically, do we have possibly have some money that we still need to collect?
Maybe not collect physically, but collect on paper.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Because I did have some problems at the very beginning with an ACH payment that was made that was never applied to payments for the railroad. I had a problem with an ACH payment that was made for a very small mortgage company that was sent to a wrong email.
The hospital stuff was messed
The
up.
hospital lease
ACH
stuff.
is a perfect example. Now,
Yes.
ACH also give you a report of transacted.
I do get those daily. Yes, from the bank.
So you will know that though.
Yes, from now
Good,
on,
okay.
from March of 25, I had that fixed. I was like, hey, I need a daily report of ACH
Oh,
deposits.
But are they able to give you a history though? Just.
I can go in and look for a
Yeah.
history. So when the
Yeah.
people called about the railroad payment, I went back into the statement, found where they made the ACH payment,
Okay.
applied it, had to I couldn't backdate it, but I had to document it. That, hey, this was paid this day. We had to have the late fees removed because they did pay on time. It's a process. There's not just one step, hey, apply the payment, you're good. No,
Gotcha.
that doesn't work that way.
Yeah, one thing I got real quick for the council members. If you guys are planning on, once she calls and says, hey, we can come up and take a look at this. If somebody could let her know so we don't end up with,
And I can give you more than
that
one.
way that we don't end up with a quorum up here and we end up in an open door violation, so.
Why don't we set it right now? If it's three that from this group that are here, if they want to do it.
Yes.
Let's decide it right
Yeah.
now then. That
Well,
way.
you were gonna call me when it was
Yeah,
available.
so
I can email you.
Bruce
Yes.
is one, who else?
Bruce is one,
Probably.
yeah, I will,
Bill, right?
yeah, Bruce and I will too. Todd?
Bruce,
Okay, so
Bill.
there's three.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
yeah, that way we don't end up in a violation,
Yeah,
so.
don't want that.
Okay.
Okay,
All right,
any other questions?
we're doing, Joel,
All right.
please keep this moving forward as
Yeah.
fast as you.
Typing our little knuckles on. All right, thank you guys. Have a good night.
Okay, Dave, did you want to go through the spreadsheet you brought in?
So, I'm gonna speak about something that is not lacking transparency because this is available, so. The Indiana General Assembly. Had basically three readings. There was initial. Estimated net levy. Then there was a first reading and a second reading. So what you have before you is a second reading, because I noticed that I've had people ask me about this over time. They had looked at the first reading and it was a little bit less, but I only copied page 44. But I was actually running late because of my dog. I'll send you this whole document. As an attachment, but if you look on the one that I sent you, and again, it's not really easy to see. But you can see that Starke County. If you look just in terms, so the question is, because we need to let our people know that are gonna start working on budgets. And I heard some people mentioning capital improvement plan, so that I feel like maybe some people are thinking about a lit tax. That's one way to look at the shortcoming. The other thing is that you can see if you go all the way to the right first, if you go to Starke County. The reduction is 5.3% in 26, and we've already got 26 rolling, but 6.0 in 27, 7.0 and so, I mean, I think our choices are one thing that we've done in the past is we go to our office holders and supervisors and say, okay, next budget, prepare for budget workshop to reduce your budget by 6%. The other possibility is a lit tax, and if you've looked at the lit, and it's 3.6-6, if the public wants to look at that as well, but the ability there has changed because, and in 27, it's all the July 1st of 27, it's gonna change again. But basically in the past, it was pretty limited. You could do like your PSAB, you could do public safety. There were some things, but now they're adding this general lit tax that you can do that spells out that you can spend it on other things, but you have to have a capital improvement plan for that. So are we possibly considering that? I'm not asking tonight. I'm just throwing that out there. Is that one of the options? Or do we look at some of our economic development funds? And do we just possibly look at shortfall and bringing that into the like solar money, for example? Because the percentages, what that, and this is estimated, but it's estimating for 26, 354,000, for 27, 422,000, for 28, 524,000, $500,000 basically. So I think we just need to think about that, because if we're gonna tell the office holders to reduce their budget, budget workshops, we usually start those between May and July. So, but now they're gonna start planning to look, if they have to cut, they need to know that early. So I'm just, again, not trying to bring something out of turn that wasn't listed or being non-transparent, because it's here in black and white.
Personally, me, it's gonna be on the record, I will never vote for a tax increase. There is no way, no how. I don't care what it is.
Would we say increase meaning lit?
I mean, lit, everything.
Okay.
The only way the lit tax could be raised is if the seated is lowered the same amount. There cannot be a tax rate. I will not vote for it. I refuse. And the capital improvement plan, that really is not about putting a lit tax in. Capital improvement plan is a 2-year plan of how you're gonna spend that money. It's not, it's how you're gonna spend the cap money and the lit money, which in this case would be the jail seated. That's what that plan is about. It is how you are gonna spend that money, and I believe you have to follow that to 70% of what you say on that plan. And this plan is good for 2 years, and we have never had one since I've been there.
So you bring this, actually, there's a couple of good examples. Lawrence is on there. There's one for St. Joe. There's several on that you use for a guide, but you raised another good question. Actually, that's not a lit tax that we have for.
Well,
it could have been a lit tax, it's a special tax.
It's being considered as that for that.
Well, that's a question I have for Justin. We need to research that, because if it's a lit tax, it actually has to be reinstated for 2027. But I think since it's a special tax, I don't think it falls under that. But according to Senator Roll Act 1 and the IGA 3.6-6, there is some wording that says if you had previous lit taxes, essentially, that you have to reinstate those under the new law.
Yeah, because they changed that total rate where the city can have their own lit tax, and then there's a top cap of what it can be.
But since it's a special tax,
that may
I'm
not
not
be good.
100% sure, because, I asked that at AIC 2 years ago when they were flirting with this, and they acted like it was outside of that.
I thought maybe the jail seat would fall into that revision of the bill that was passed for Starke County only for the jail
It
seat.
doesn't fall under, it's not a lit tax, though, it's a special
Okay.
tax.
Well, then the only thing would have to be the cum cap.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will not, like I said, I will not vote for a tax raise. Not real tax, nothing, zero.
Well, so the other question would be just to think about then, we need to be able to tell the office holders, are they gonna reduce their budget, or are we gonna use economic development funds to cover the shortfall as it comes? Because the other thing is, we'll get our 1782, and it may not be 354,000, it could be 450,000. And then we decide, do we want to fund it? So like, do we do 2 budgets? Do we tell everybody cut 27 by 6%? And then also do another budget that is, how status quo, how we would normally do it, and see if it flies, and then see what they cut. But that's a little bit dangerous if we haven't decided where we're going to take that shortfall from.
So my question is this. Is the state cutting our taxes by that percentage? Or are we gonna pay in less?
The levy is being reduced by that amount to basically for forgiveness for homesteads, essentially. And
So is this monies that we will see back from the state in less tax?
No.
Okay, so this is just a gross in taxes if we go.
The individuals will see that as,
Property tax credit.
Property tax
yeah,
credit.
but essentially it's also, they would have been raised too, so there's a quotient that's
Yeah.
there, but it's basically they're paying less for a homestead.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done. So.
They're so complex that. I'm perfect.
Somebody brought this up before, basically the state representatives are forcing the county representatives to be the bad guys. And
Oh, sure.
and do it through income tax instead of property tax. And property owners in Indiana basically feel like they're paying too much, that they shouldn't pay any property tax at all, but they still want
I agree.
roads. They still want infrastructure. They still want EMS and fire. All of us, I should say, we, not us, they, but. So we need to think about that though.
My position is this, if you know that the county is, the total tax required to the state is down. Then the lit tax would be only to replace.
Yes.
But
Yes.
if it isn't, then I stand pat with Todd.
So like a couple of, the other thing, the problem with lit taxes, when they were originally low at taxes 10 years ago, we didn't qualify for them. We were too small.
Yeah.
So that's why they got rid of Lowitz and started the lit taxes, tax. So PSAP theoretically or public safety, like for example, like we know that the 911 funds don't cover the PSAP anymore. So like that would be one example of why you would do that. And then you would move some of those things out now that we have trouble paying in dispatch, move those over to the lit tax. EMS is one of the things that you can do now for the lit tax. You have an EMS tax. And so the things that come from the general fund currently, you would move them over to the lit tax, for example. Now, there's also a maximum rate. I think the maximum rolls in at 1.2 and then it's 2.5. So there's a cap also on the total amount that you can do for lit taxes too. So it's not like we could just go.
It has to do with the city too.
Well, that's the thing, is it's all blended in. So it also, the other thing is that,
It's like whoever gets there first.
well, we have a fire territory also in Stark County, and then we have other fire departments that are asking for a fire territory. So the one thing is though, is if you do the public safety and you deal with fire services, it's a very unique situation where the county can actually give volunteer fire departments money or fire territories money out of the lit tax.
I'm on the Hamlet Fire Board and we don't have any problem funding it. We don't need any help. from
It was
anybody.
structured well.
Yeah, we don't need any
I've
help
seen
from
the
anybody.
numbers, but I'm just saying that is one of the things that you can do under the legislation for lit tax. But basically, essentially what the state representatives are doing is reducing the general fund, so that way you have to find other sources for the money. And so now the governor will say that that's one of the reasons why they're, supporting solar, supporting data centers and other economic development projects, because that's another way counties can fund that shortfall without having to raise taxes or without having to reduce budgets. So
we have a knife to our back, go with solar, go with
It's
data
only
center, do these things.
$354,000.
But the lit tax will affect those that are on a fixed income.
the lit tax,
Will hurt them the most.
well, the idea is that it's incremental. So if someone makes 150,000, then they're paying more tax than somebody that's on a fixed income.
I'm not saying that,
yeah.
I'm saying it will
Yeah,
hurt
I'm with
those
you.
that are on a fixed income.
It'll hurt anybody that has a taxable income.
Cause what's in the seat now? Do you know, Michaeline, what balance is?
Oh, no, I don't.
Okay,
It's
millions.
It's like 2.6 or something like that.
It's a couple million, yeah.
So if we get to this point, I think we just figure out what the percentage is of the seated. Take it out there, lower that rate. We gotta raise the lit to that much to replace that 340,000. Doesn't cost anybody anything, and there you go. Plain and simple. Or just take it out of seated to make up that shortfall.
Or take
It's
it out.
the same
of
difference.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, people in this county are paying so much now for electricity, fuels, food, rent, which I cannot believe what people pay for rent in this county. It's insane. Well, we can't put any more burden on people in this county.
I agree with you, Todd, and we can take it out of two different baskets, when you're talking about the seated, taking it out of that fund, you talk about
Solar.
well, we talk about solar, and we also talk about our office holders to cut their budget 6 to 7%. Well, it might be easier on everything, every aspect, if we had 2, 2, and 2. Cut your budget 2%, take 2% out of solar, take 2% out of seed, then we weren't pulling it all out of one fund. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're only talking about 60 some, what? 2%.
Well, I think Todd was saying though, if we reduce
2,000,
cap
right.
by 2%.
Well, see,
Have a
that's
vote
being
for
capped,
2%, or
see,
seed it by
Yeah.
2%,
Yeah.
have a lit for 2%. To wash it.
so it's a wash, it has to be no net increase of 1 penny to anybody in this county, it can't be.
Well,
And I agree with.
that's still increases those that have taxable income, because property tax, maybe, you know, like somebody has property and they're paying less, they don't have a taxable income. You know, I don't know, I think we better think about that one too, to see how it
Well,
impacts.
I'm not lowering taxes, so you can take that to the bank, plain and simple.
Well, I think this gives us some discussion time, some time to think about
I
it.
think by the April meeting though, we need to tell our office holders and supervisors, because that's a lot on them if they don't have any guidance on.
With 354,000.
I would agree with Todd that two and
Right,
two
yeah.
would be the way to go,
And,
but I don't wanna raise it.
and I think,
No,
I'm not sure, but I think the EMS is probably they're running pretty close to. I don't know what they're costing us now, they're not costing anything like they were. They weren't costing us the million
Right.
dollars a year,
Well,
I mean, Jim's doing a fantastic job.
Jim said he was taking care of himself this morning in the commission meetings.
this is on the low side, you know, this estimate that it was double this on the first reading. You know, so,
We might
I
have to
think
tighten
the
our
numbers are
belt and
conservative.
quit being so
I
generous.
mean,
and,
what do you do with your household? I mean,
you
you
just
can't,
have to tighten
you
your
have to
belt.
tighten it up
Yeah.
and we have.
The
to provide
Economic
services.
Development Foundation got $72,000.
The sheriff's department, the EMS, they've got to be provided.
Well-
Cancel a brush mower.
well, you know, but at the end of the day though, when you look at us as an employer though, I mean, that probably puts us in the realm of not doing any raises. You know, I mean, there's a lot of impact to that. And then if we can't hire people, I mean, you know, we really need to think about this.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, a lot of our offices, the
I mean, I
small
got
ones
no
have
raise
already
this year.
been.
I mean, my job, I didn't.
I mean, there are ways to reduce budgets and leave room for raises too. I mean, it's not the first time since I've been on that we've lowered, lowered budgets.
And it won't be the last.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It does happen too, but we're gonna need to think about it early.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. It's just we've been talking about getting the numbers out there.
Yep.
And, you know, and this gives a chance to.
Yeah.
Obviously, this has a big circulation once it goes on YouTube. It's an opportunity for us to hear from constituents to see how they feel too. You know what I mean? They might say, you know what? I'm okay with an income tax. Maybe. I doubt they will. Say, they might say, spend solar money, you know?
I just don't think,
Well,
I think the two.
No, we don't want to spend solar.
Yeah.
This might come under any other business that might become before the board, but I'm gonna bring it up now at that time. You know, over the past year or two, we've talked about when certain things need funding. We talk about, well, should we take it out of solar? Solar money seems to be brought up quite a bit. I've no problem with spending solar money on certain things. I think this isn't gonna be hashed out and solved tonight, but what we need to think about over the next few months is exactly how much solar money we are getting now and what we're gonna do. I think we should have solar money more structured rather than just pull it out of the air and say,
Well,
let's
have a plan.
That's part of the CIP, the capital improvement plan.
let's spend
That's part of
solar money. I think we should quit doing that
I
and have it become more structured.
Well, that would structure it, wouldn't it? If it was actually forced.
Yeah,
Wow,
it would.
too.
And I think we should discuss salting a little bit of the solar money, not spending it, period. So much of the solar funds goes into an investment account
Here.
and saved. That's my opinion.
And do you know how much we've collected and how much it's impacted the taxes? Do you want to know what that is?
Right, yeah.
So for each of the projects that are up, they're about $1 million a piece. And almost $500,000 in tax benefit, because I see on the internet all the time that there's no tax benefit to the property owners, and that's a lie.
Mine went up considerably,
But not because of solar.
because the rate went down, but.
But just to review, those properties were assessing in the past at $1,100 an acre, and they're assessing at $13,300 now. Or in that neighborhood.
Well, then,
And what they've collected is over 400,000 each, Because, and so if you think about that, so the average household is capped at 1%. So let's say if the average value was 100,000. That's like 400 additional houses in Stark County in each project of tax revenue that's lowering everybody else's tax rate.
It is.
Maybe yours might have gone up.
Yeah.
But it also didn't go up by that much.
Well, it had to go down somebody else's.
So I heard somebody say
And then
that.
somebody's could go
I
down
heard
because they can only,
Oh,
they can
sorry,
only,
sorry.
they can only collect so much. And we're in the frozen levy.
I got a real brave thought here. People have been mumbling all over everywhere about how we got this money and we're not spending it for anything and what we're doing with it. Well, here's what I think we ought to do with some of it. I think we ought to look at, this may be impossible to do. Take $1 million and figure out how much that is in assessed valuation money and give that back to every taxpayer in the county as a tax credit. Plain and simple. To help give some relief. I know it can be done. It's probably a lot of work and it may not amount to enough for each
I've
household
looked
to do
it
it.
up before and that's like $100 per household. People are like, I don't even want to mess with $100. I mean, the benefit to be able to do a project in the county, and have infrastructure, but it's
It's just a
but you're
thought.
right,
It's just a
worth
thought.
it. It's worth.
I have a question about this solar money, if you don't mind. I don't know how much we have. But why isn't any of it invested? Why aren't we getting interest off of it?
Correct.
Yeah, it should be.
I agree with you.
I agree, Kelly.
I mean, in the last year and a half, I made save the hospital fund $800 and
Oh.
some $1,000.
We've been doing that for years though with that.
No, it
No,
hasn't.
no, it's sad.
We used to.
Used to.
We used to most of it.
I'm just saying, it didn't just happen when you came along. I've been around here for a long time. We used to invest. in it. The reason why we have invested in it is because
Send us up a list of
Okay.
things to invest
Right,
and ask us how much of it was available to invest, but
right.
but the interest rate wasn't
Haven't done that
favorable
stuff
enough
in
to, no, but you guys aren't understand the history.
But-
The reason why it wasn't invested for a few years was because the interest rate was not favorable enough to go through the, it was,
I
it
mean,
just wasn't there.
you probably made more interest off of it sitting in the bank.
Yes.
Than the interest rate was.
Exactly, because CD, I think, yeah.
Well, and COVID drove it in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
because I remember when I was highway superintendent, I would come to Michael and say, hey, I think that we can invest $300,000 for 30 days.
Yeah.
And we would do it.
Yeah, we used to.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we made millions of dollars
Yeah.
off of CDs and investments. The problem is that the bottom dropped. Bond, everything's
completely out of it now.
Yeah.
Might fell a little bit.
I mean, that's a good point, right? It did drop, but how long have we been going without doing that? How much money are we out because the highway garage, because instead we're letting this money just sit in the bank instead of investing it for 30 days. I mean, we're trying to figure out how to come up with money.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like we need to talk to all the department heads and start
I
investing.
mean,
Do you know
there's
why
something
that
can't
money
do
was
it.
invested when it was started? Was because we were afraid that politicians would get a hold of it and spend it on other things than to save the hospital. That's the black and white.
Wasn't just the hospital.
No,
We need.
You did it, the highway.
yeah, we.
Okay, okay, great. All right. Let's move on with the meeting here. We're not gonna solve the financial problems of the county tonight.
Yeah.
So
That's what we're here for.
we are here for that, Bruce, and I hear you, and we've talked about it quite a bit, but we got a lot of thinking to do from investments to funds. We also are working with Baker Tilly to come up with a plan that we talked about. Cassie and myself is on that committee. We're trying to do our due diligence. There's a lot of things that can be done. Obviously, one of the first things that needs to be done is we need to get back into our investments, invest in that money. We stopped. I was here when we stopped, and it was when COVID hit, because everything just tanked out and the bottom dropped out, and that's when we stopped. So we do need to look at now getting that moving again and so forth. So, it's something we can work on. But we're not gonna solve all this tonight, and we're gonna move on. So right now, we are at the February 18th minutes. I need approval of the minutes.
I have a correction that was not added.
Okay,
I sent it in. It says in the meeting that a roll call was taken at the start of the meeting. A roll call was not taken at the start of the meeting. And let me tell you why that's important. Because of Stark County Resolution 2021-015, which is the electronic meeting policy. It clearly states in here, which you all have a copy. It says a roll call will be taken at the start of the meeting of who is here who's not here, and who's online. And then also, if it further state that a roll call would be taken at every vote. And that was not done. So, other than not having a
So
two-fifths
we
or
ever
a
done.
supermajority for that, none of those other votes did follow what was in this resolution that we passed in 2021.
Whoever was officiating the meeting didn't write down who was present?
It says roll call will be recorded. There was no roll call. I listened to the meeting. It did not say.
I think you better check the definition of roll call, though. Roll call can be somebody who's recording the meeting, I believe, can write down who's present at the meeting, I believe. Is that not
That's
true?
what I always do, like right now. I
Says-
put down,
It says right over. I'm just telling you,
Are you saying that it's like Todd Linebar, are you here?
Yeah.
Like that kind of?
Yeah, like he did when we voted for the ordinance, just like when we did, that was a roll call. How can you answer a roll call unless you personally do it yourself? Nobody can do that for you. All they can state is that you were here, but they never called your name to say, I was here. So,
Well, I know I walked in late tonight, but was that done tonight?
No.
I
no,
don't remember if he'd done it
it didn't,
anything.
no. It didn't have to because nobody was online. That's the whole key of the whole thing. This is only a electronic meeting policy. It's not a regular meeting policy. That's all it is.
Okay, so moving
Yeah.
forward, let's
Yeah.
start doing a roll call then.
Yeah,
I've never heard it at any, not the BZA, not the planning commission, not.
Well, that's because everybody's in their own separate room.
So,
These are the rules we made up, so, and you signed them.
Okay,
okay, not a problem.
I'm the one saying, let's do it from now
So,
on.
on the agenda, let's include roll call from now on. That way we can call it out by name. That way it's on the agenda. Helps everybody remember, right? And we will take care of that from this date forward.
Okay.
Todd.
So what about the last meeting? I would say. I guess we could ask Justin, but I don't know if any vote that was taken that day is even
This any other
legitimate.
time. This is ridiculous.
I think Todd's point is if we're using the e-policy is when roll call, because that 2021 ordinance, Todd, that you're referring to is your guys is concerning if there's e-participation.
Mhm.
And it's probably never been an issue because you've never had to have somebody attend online for the purpose of a quorum, which is why it's coming up for the first time in 6 years now. And I'm sorry, because I think you guys were talking about two separate things. You guys were talking about never getting a roll call. And I think Todd, you were trying to say if we're e-participating, to
Yeah,
get a quorum.
I was talking
roll
about
call is
this.
necessary. And I'm sorry, Jim, I'm sorry, Bill, what was the question that you had to me? Because I was trying to square my mind around where we're
I
at.
mean, we've never called an out loud roll call since I've been on the council.
We've never had the situation come up to you at the
So-
last meeting. That's why we have this policy that we didn't
Sure
follow.
we have.
I'm sorry, and then your question was votes that were taken, would they be app? So
I don't care if they are or
Not
not,
sure
sure,
what
but it's
other-
not following the policy,
Yeah.
we need to follow it, or else we throw the whole thing out the window.
because I did the e-policy for Knox about 2 years ago, because I didn't do your guys' e-policy, I did the one for Knox. And we took it straight from statute about the roll call voting. So I'm not sure what else we would have approved in the last meeting that would have been roll call voting, but it's not a. Maybe you're right, Todd. You're right. If we didn't roll call vote and it's by statute, then the vote might not have counted to approved. So I don't know if we need to reapprove tonight just to be safe, the
What?
previous.
I'm not doing it to cause trouble, I'm doing
No,
it
no,
because
you do
down
have
the
a point.
road, if somebody says, they look back at our minutes or our meeting, and they go, hey, you guys have a policy, you never followed it.
So do we know which things need to be revoted?
would be in the minutes.
Well, I didn't know if Todd already went that far.
No, I didn't look at it, because when I looked at the minutes and saw the first thing, I didn't even read anything further. Well, the big thing was the salary ordinance, and that didn't matter about the roll call. The thing mattered about that, we didn't have a super majority to do it. That's the one that really matters. And we solved that problem tonight. I mean, personally, I think that if you're not present, you should be like the planning commission. You shouldn't be able to vote. You ought to have to be here in person to vote. Plain and simple.
Why?
Why not?
Why though? I mean, people have jobs, like what's wrong with that?
Why
It's an elected official.
As a planning commission, if you're elected official, when you were elected, you elected and your
Constituents want you to do your job.
And the responsibility was.
You have to travel for work. How does that count?
I don't know. That's not my problem.
How was it set up? I mean, obviously you guys.
It's already been passed. You can make a motion to make a new ordinance then.
No, because nobody would like my ordinance.
Why don't we just abide by this one from here on?
Yeah,
out?
anyways, I just made a point. That's all I want to make a point is that we need to read this and follow it, or else why don't we have it? Plain and simple.
Could you please, Michael,
That's it, I'm done.
roll call from here out, please call it out by name.
For every meeting. We might
For every
just
meeting,
Make it
yeah,
consistent.
for every meeting, yeah, every meeting from this day forward,
I did too.
Yeah.
Plankton, every meeting.
call it out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, get back to the minutes. I need approval for the minutes from the last meeting. Anyone make?
Make that motion.
Dave, I got a motion by Dave. Do I have a second?
Did you say you wanted part of it corrected?
I already sent an email. The day they came out and they did not get corrected where they were supposed to.
Make that motion with Todd's correction. That should be there. I'll make the motion with Todd's correction for the minutes to approve.
Okay, I got a motion by Dave. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Got a second by Howard. All in favor?
I have to abstain because I wasn't in attendance.
Right.
So
I do as well.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
so mine will be abstain.
Okay, so I will vote yes.
Yes.
Yes,
I don't know too.
it's not enough to approve them though.
Yeah,
No.
you can majority here.
It's a majority.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
majority. Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We go. William and Howard. Okay. We have to say.
Bruce, you asked me to bring something up earlier. Is it okay if I bring that up in private to, while the attendant?
Oh, I would, yeah, okay, that's fine. I would like it to be brought up.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm not saying that anything has to be done,
Right.
but thank you.
Okay. Is there any other business before the board?
Make a motion to adjourn.
No. Kelly, go ahead.
I talked to Rhonda and she asked if the three of you would like to come tomorrow evening at 5, or if you'd like to come Thursday at 5. She will be here both
At
nights.
night,
Huh?
in the evening.
Not in the morning.
Well, I'm gonna be on the road. I'll be because I go by your house in the semi tomorrow.
I'll wait. 5 miles.
We got a meeting, we got a meeting tomorrow, we'll be done by then. I can be there at 5 tomorrow.
5 tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it. You bet.
Yep.
You gentlemen, 5 tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, 5 o'clock tomorrow, guys.
Yep.
Okay. Bye. Security. Sheriff's Department.
Oh, we're just gonna have the transport van open, if you can wanna walk by and just see what it is, more than welcome to.
All right.
Depending on how.
Teresa,
Thank you.
go ahead. Just Bennett. Sheriff, anything back here? Roberta?
Well, I'm gonna ask you, I'd like to ask a couple of questions that I'm hoping that Dave might be able to answer. And you may want to answer them at a different meeting rather than.
I'll try. I may not have an answer. Is it about economic development?
It's about skill.
Oh, skill,
You
yeah, okay.
brought up,
Yeah,
this morning you mentioned the skill itself is
Yeah.
not actually going away.
yes.
I did get an opportunity to also meet with one of the board members from SCEDF today to try to get some
Oh, cool, okay.
questions answered. So I understand the CTA program, welding automotive is gonna run through schools.
CT.
I said CTE, I have a, just stuffy.
I got you, though. Yeah.
Yes, I understand that. It's not a training, CTE program, so in skill, it's gonna shift more towards adult workforce education alongside those programs.
Yes.
So if that's the direction, I think most of us would definitely, we want to continue to see lifelong learning. So my question is the practicality of how that transition is going to work.
Okay.
So my understanding is that the 2 instructors that are actually with skill now are gonna move over and they'll be working for the school. Running the programs for the schools.
Okay.
So will we need new instructors for the adult learning
Wow, good question.
or will they continue?
Good question. So actually, there were a lot of concerns about that, around that, also just about their employment too, and so. Sorry about that, it's going to my watch. And so, I hate this watch, I really do, sorry, just 1 second.
Services in our search.
Sorry. It had something starting right at 5:30, let's turn it down. So the instructors that are existing with skill are gonna become employees, they're gonna become actual teachers employed by the school. Yeah. Yeah, and so but there were some concerns, and just in case there were some concerns from the public, their employment will end July 31st at the skill. And they will start August 1st, so there's no like gap for their pay. And they didn't have insurance anyway, so, because I heard there were some issues on that too that people had asked. As far as the future, the training for the adults will be more modular at this point until the automotive program starts. And what'll happen is like, well, Bruce has asked many times about a CDL program. We're actually looking at that. And at the minimum, there's gonna be grant, possibilities for students that want to do that, but we also, if we can get enough students, we might be able to bring one here as an example. Um, we're also partnering with Ivy Tech. I guess, well, it's two branches of Ivy Tech basically, to do like sort of like some more short courses, like they're doing one on now on Microsoft 365. They're doing one on Microsoft Excel. There's one coming up that's really cool, and I'll ask people to keep an eye out for this. I'm glad you asked this because there's also one that's for caregiving for like for preschool, like daycare, sorry, not preschool, daycare. And seems like there's a real need for that. So, and some of the local daycares need people, but also, and you'll come out with certification in that. But the programs that are coming through Ivy Tech will also come with actual college credits also. Some of them might just be like a 2-week course. Some might be a 2-month course, but they all come with credit that are transferable to an Ivy Tech degree or basically elsewhere if you're gonna go towards that or continuing education does.
So the adults that want to go through welding and automotive, will they be using the same?
So that's a great question. So the other thing
What
is
instructor
the
would they be?
CTE program is very gracious about that. I mean, the relationship is going to sustain between CTE and skill. It's just really the division is more the age groups. And so when CTE is not using that equipment, then the adult program will be getting scheduled and using
Okay,
that.
so then you just got me to my next question.
Well, to answer your previous question about the instructors, I'm not sure about that because I don't know how many hours those instructors, if they want additional hours. So that's gonna be something that is a bridge that's gonna be crossed.
So we don't have that answer.
Should I interject?
Maybe Bruce Nelson.
Well, the thing of it is, these instructors are gonna have insurance that they've never had. So it's not all negative.
No, I know that.
And I know if a couple of us would disagree about is skill over or is it evolving? I will just say this. I'm not really happy with what's happening. However, we had one of the most productive meetings this morning. There's so many opportunities that through the CTE program.
Yeah.
So I've made up my mind. I'm gonna shut my mouth about all of this.
Come on.
No, I am. Because I think there's a future there.
Yeah.
I don't like exactly, but there's a future there and I'm gonna count on you to get it.
Well, and what Bruce is speaking of is that we also have a unique opportunity that we've got some new businesses that are coming in and we've got some existing businesses that are expanding. And there's gonna be a need to farm kids from the schools, because they're gonna need some preliminary skills. And then I'll just be honest too, there's also gonna be some situations where some engineers are gonna be needed. But the foundation and CTE can work together to try to get those students sourced. But then also reach out because like, some of them need to be further along in that capacity. So we're gonna be reaching out to, Purdue, IU, things like that to be able to get some of those folks to come here too, because there's some extreme job needs that are coming up, just the additional economic development projects. And, like today, for example, the head of CTE brought up working in the solar fields, like that's one thing that they could be trained on. I mean, we don't want them here, but training people to work at data centers, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like extreme need for people that are working, that need to be working in these new things. And, there's also opportunity for people to live in Stark County and still have those ultra high paying jobs. Even if we won't get the economic development dollars, at least the people can get the pay scale
and jobs to be able to do that and hopefully still want to live in Stark County.
I think the most important thing the most exciting thing that I heard this morning, and we are inviting a company that runs drones. Can I say that?
Really,
I already have.
yeah.
And for the first time I've ever heard anybody talk about high tech and drone piloting and so on and so forth is skill. And I am tickled to death that finally Stark County is being recognized that we can do those things.
Well, and just before you get to that, sorry, I don't want to belabor this, but the other thing that I learned is that the superintendents in Stark County are really taking a step forward in developing the kind of student that maybe isn't going to go on to college, but it's going to have a very professional position. Like one area, which is our biggest industry in Stark County, is ag in so many different ways. But other things like we were talking about meat cutting, for example. In the ag program, the kids already learn anatomy and physiology of the animals. And so like that's the first step is knowing the muscles because they're going to be cutting them, cutting the bones and cutting the muscles. But what they have the fidelity to do is to take those classes are modular. And what they could do is like, say if meat cutting is something that becomes, a profession in Stark County where we need more people, they can segue some of that and they can actually bring on some of the meat cutting, for example, during that period. Or other things that you do with animals. I mean, that might be industrial. So there's an opportunity there to work with some of the,
Talked about robotics and what a lot of people don't know is we've got a Knox graduate that never went to college, self-taught, that has his name on over 90 patents. And a lot of them are through McDonald. And I won't tell you that he's my nephew because I don't want to steal my own horn.
Sorry, and then your last question.
Okay, so then now, and I'm gonna kind of combine these because they're all
Yeah,
combined
sure.
for the sake of time. So I know a lot of the tools and equipment in the program for automotive and welding
Yeah.
over the years were donated or purchased through skill.
Yes.
So two-part question. Who will actually own that equipment going forward for automotive and welding? And if the schools are using those tools for CTE classes, who's gonna be responsible for the maintenance or replacement
Yeah.
if something breaks?
Great questions because, Bruce could probably speak to this more than I could because he's been in the building more. I'm a little bit new to the skill board activities, but I've been around it for a long time too. But I have noticed when I've been in there over the years, sometimes I'll see a 10, and those of you that do wrench, you'll laugh at this, but 10 millimeter socket, that's a cobalt and not a snap-on because that's the one you lose all the time. Like all those cartoons and things, those are true.
Yeah.
So like there's situations like that and or tools didn't get put away. So then you don't know that you're missing the 13 millimeter. I believe that I don't know, we have somebody on the skill board that was taught heating and air conditioning, also a mechanic that helped go through a lot of that. And I believe the instructors have reboxed everything.
Trying to inventory.
So there's gonna be some purchase of some things and also there's some maintenance. There's also been building maintenance that really should have been being performed over the years that didn't get done. A lot of things, because I'm assuming you're probably wondering about the budget, because you mentioned the dollars that were spent. So there's a fund there, that's gonna be used for a lot of different things, including those activities. And the other thing is that, normally you keep funds around just as you have a program, you also have to think about things like litigation. So there's gonna be a fund that's gonna sit there for some time. That's gonna be utilized for all of the above. Some of it's speculative, some of we know. There's some, like I said, some repairs that needed to be done. There's some tools that are gonna be bought, some need to be just upgraded. There's also and then like missing tools and things like that, broken, whatever. But in other words, that way everybody starts out with a perfect set. The air conditioning equipment, I think that was one of the things being upgraded. It's ready to go and has all of its pieces.
Yes, we did.
Long story short, it doesn't sound like all of the welding equipment that was donated years back when Ancilla College was part of the skill program. We don't really know who's gonna.
We have an inventory of every single thing, but I mean, basically,
But like, who's gonna own it now? SCEDF, is it CTE?
it's always been under the books under skill. So this is one thing I should have prefaced, because I don't think you were at this morning's meeting when I explained this to the commissioners. Skill has always been under the foundation. Like whoever thinks that it wasn't, I can tell you the bylaws clearly state that it's a committee under it.
Thought that, I believe,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to throw, but I think it was Donnie that had said it wasn't
Right.
at the one meeting, which confused a lot of.
Right, but there's no bone of
Should
contention
say
there,
that
so the CTE program had provided some of those things, and so. Currently, there is there's no vision of splitting or fighting or things like that. Now. There are rules though that the government has outlined, and certain things, like if they were bought by the CTE program. Then they either have to be disposed of or retired in a certain way. And so regardless, if anybody wanted to try to take ownership or anything else, those things that have that certain serial number attached to that, then those would have to be resolved in that correct manner also. But the idea is to have as perfect as possible. I mean, because I'll just tell you, like, the bad thing about tool trucks is, they want to sell tools and maintenance also. And Bruce made a good point. Like, there was one thing that was circulating that there were going to be all new lifts bought. Well, we both have lifts and we know that those parts are replaceable. So the other thing that the oversight committees want to make sure that the money is spent appropriately also, and then the rest of the money is there, or on an as needed basis. But I will tell you that skill is not disappearing. It's under the Workforce Development Committee. There always is an educator on there. Moving forward, it looks like it's going to be Dr. Esper. But we also have always on the foundation leadership from one of the 4 schools. And so in that scenario, there's always going to be a hand in there from educators in the future and anything that has to do with the procedure for that.
So I think I'll just add that, one thing I want to say, and I said this to the person from Starke County Economic Development Foundation as well. I think that a little transparency can go a long way. And what I mean by that is, I understand that these are technically private foundations, 501(c)s, all of that. But that doesn't mean that you can't host an occasional meeting with the public.
Roberta,
or people down-
I'm on the board, so ask it at these meetings. Tell people to come here, or if they want to know something about curb
But see,
C,
people
come and
ask
ask.
that, if they have a question about skill.
I'm sorry, whatever board.
Right, I knew I could
Solid
get here
waste.
because it's you, but
Yeah.
the general public doesn't.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, when the CTE program started stepping in, when we started these talks.
Yeah.
Which was more than a year ago, it would have been nice for the public to come in.
Okay, but the CTE program isn't governed by the people. I mean,
That's
the school's tax dollars, don't get me wrong, but they're
Starke
school
County
people.
Economic Development Foundation, it is, right, in some ways.
Okay.
And so is skill.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is when conversation.
Press release or something to give this.
The good news.
You just, like, because look, the reality is there was talk before this year for CTE to take over 100%. To take over.
CTE can't do adults.
It's-
They don't do adults.
I know that, but
They
what
do
I'm saying
K
is
through
the
12.
schools, right? The
Yeah.
schools to take over those parts of skill. This is not a new one.
They are taking over those parts. That was pointed out though, this is only coming to fruition now, like. Okay, well, let me ask you this, let me say this, Kane is also on the foundation, other people have been on there.
Right.
As elected officials, we have the responsibility to answer your questions to the best of our ability. The director does not, she does not work for the public, she works at the pleasure of the board. So there's other board members, you could always approach them, the board president now, I don't think I brought that up, is Isaac Blue. I'm only one person on the board.
Starts happening because people don't know where.
I get it, well, and that's why I know there was a lot of speculation on the internet, a lot of concern about it.
On the post,
Well-
and now a lot
Oh,
of
I don't
it's
know.
absolutely true. It is a benefit to the schools. There is a lot of advantages to this, and I understand that. But I think the community deserves to understand it as well. That's all.
Can I end with one positive thing? We're $80,000 closer to coming to our shortfall, because we're not giving SEAL any money that after this year. They have not asked for anything. They haven't asked for a contract. Matter of fact, they felt guilty even thinking about it. So to my knowledge, there will be no drop in pay.
And so you're right. The idea would have been maybe for the adult program to ask for that, but we don't know what it looks like yet or how much we need for
Yeah,
it,
so
so.
we gave him still.
I want, I got one more thing. Go, I'm gonna call it, it's been.
Well, you're up, make it quick.
All right, I'll make this as quickly as possible.
I gotta go to the bathroom, Alex.
All right, a couple months ago, we voted to give the Starke County Economic Development Foundation a considerable increase in their funding. I was one that voted for it. I don't regret that vote, but what I'm asking this board to consider is I would like to see, because you're bringing it up, you just brought it up a minute ago, in the eyes of transparency, we gave them a very healthy increase. I would like to see
30 and 42.
31, yeah.
exactly. I would like to see them quarterly come in, sit in front of us, and let them know what I know. They're a private organization, but they are being partially funded by taxpayer money.
To your point, Howard, I asked Mikey to do that already.
Okay, I would like to see them sit down. We can ask questions. You can ask questions of where our money is being spent.
Yeah.
That's what I like to say.
It does say that, it does say in the contract that
Yeah.
through the auditor or her designees. Or any of us more have a right to inspect, so.
Right.
I would request that we send a letter to the Starke County Economic Foundation to show us all their audits from last year and all their financials. And they show us whatever they can show us.
And I agree with that because we are funding
Yeah,
a good portion of that organization.
I mean, I think that's only fair to everybody.
But I have asked her for the quarterly to come here and give us a report, so.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that was,
And I think on a positive
Quarters
note,
up.
yeah, so
Dave
We'll
seems
be
to think that
expecting
there'll
her
be
at
a
the next
point in
meeting.
time
I
that
hope
we
so.
won't even have to fund them, that they'll fund themselves.
To Bruce's point, that's what I'd like to see is that way the foundation isn't at the mercy. But I will say though, like there's a lot of angst and animosity towards foundation in the public. I've noticed on the line too, things like that. Every county has an economic development initiative. You know what I'm saying? I don't think any of us has the time, full time to do economic development. And I want to make it real clear, it's not the economic development director's job for somebody to call up on the phone and I would say, I want to report right now about all the businesses that you've helped. In the last 6 months, blah, blah, blah. That's not her job. She answers to a board. But I will tell you, every single business that's here, we work with them. Now, we have improved that though. I mean, I feel like there was a gap where we weren't knocking on their doors. We've had one of the businesses want to be on the workforce development board now. I mean, things have really changed a lot just in the last, I would say, especially the last year, the last 12 months.
6 months without anybody in there.
Well, right before Christmas, they couldn't get a hold of Mikey and I was the one that got the thing rolling on the packing, on the slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
And so hopefully she's got the idea and she is positive from here.
Yeah, and I respectfully
See it thinking.
disagree. She's the director and she's the director of that board. And since we're funding it as taxpayers, you're funding it. Somebody from the board needs to answer to us in relationship with the money we're funding.
I agree. That would be Kay or me.
Oh, okay,
Right now.
all right, I understand. Okay.
all right.
And
Are you guys making that a motion where I've requested a letter requesting audits and financials?
I'll make a motion that we exercise our contract right. And we ask for last year's financial audits and any other financial documents from last year.
I'll second.
Okay, I got a motion by Todd and a second by Bruce, all in favor.
Aye.
Nick.
Here we go. 3-2.
Yeah, so we're okay.
So we got it. See, that's the whole thing there.
3-2?
I didn't have to vote, I don't know how I got
Nope.
counted in.
They need to show us they need to show us what they can by law.
I agree.
We need to know. This county is owed that.
I think she's doing that quarterly already. I don't know about doing extra work on top of that. She's supposed to be coming according to what you asked her to do and give a report.
She comes to the commissioners every month now.
Yeah, she never comes
There
out.
wasn't any financials. It was just-
No, there's no financials.
She was there today.
Yeah,
And
it's
there was
just
no
about how many
backup.
seminars they went to and how many meetings they had and all that other.
Okay, anything else, guys?
Let me just add something to that, though. I mean, if there's a way to look at that, giving all their financials, they're not gonna be able to do that.
Well, they just give us whatever is allowed in that contract and once they give it, if they give it to me, it's public record. And it needs to all be public record. What the hell is there to hide? I don't get it.
Well, there's a lot of discussion on the internet about NDAs. For example, we know a lot of stuff about companies that are intimate things that the companies don't want out on the street right away. Or, you know, people that wanna come here and invest, like, you know, that's confidential.
There's a
I
difference
mean,
between the executive session talking about contracts and signing some piece of paper where you can't say anything. There is no way that any government official would sign any NDA with anything, plain and simple. We're here to represent the people, not represent that company and some other sideline thing that we don't know anything about.
Can I ask something real quick? Since you guys brought up the NDA thing, so anybody that sits on that board that signed one of those, and you guys say you're open and transparent about things, how do we know that you're really telling us the answers to the questions that we're asking if you had to sign that? I mean, does that make any sense?
well, obviously, you probably haven't signed one or read one before then, Gwen, because it spells out specifically what you're allowed to disclose. Okay.
I did read through it, it talks about the money and all of that you're discussing, so it's pretty cut and dry, there are a lot of things in there, it sounds like you can't discuss. So I was just wondering, I mean, just a simple question, I don't know how people are supposed to know what they're.
Did I ask all your questions you want to ask about the foundation? I didn't
Yeah, you
say.
got one.
Hey, I have one question.
Yeah.
So with Ivy Tech being involved,
Yes.
which they may be. Is that gonna be paid for by the people that are in it, or are they
Good
gonna?
question. It's grant money.
Yeah, okay.
It's free.
All right, that's all. I just want, not that it mattered, I just wondered if we had to fund it, because that's something that we should think about funding if we had. it.
Right. No.
And I will bring your
Somebody else
question
will.
about
But it's
getting
still
financial. I just don't know how much I can. It's a member of.
Well, it's in the contract, they have to supply it, so.
Let me see.
Okay, all right, you guys got anything else?
Yeah.
Purdue. Bruce, welcome. Go Purdue. Motion to get this over with.
Amen, you got it.
Second,
Who moved, Bruce?
Bruce.
I did, I have.
Second, all in favor.
Hey, I had a movie.
It would.
Two-week grown class. It was amazing. And so when you're talking about actually, I feel just nice.
It's all in there. That's what she's an aviation officer. Then.
How much?
You know, they got over, she would do, she showed up with
You make your own money.